Hello children, today we are going to learn the chapter Matter in Our Surroundings Part 3. Last class we read about states of matter. We have three states of matter, okay, solid state, liquid state and gaseous state, okay. And today we are going to see about the differences between solid state, liquid state and gaseous state or distinction among the three states of matter: solid state, liquid state and gaseous state. Okay, so here property: solid state, liquid state and gaseous state. Okay, so first one is interparticle spaces. Interparticle spaces, they are very small in solid state and particles are closely packed, okay, tightly packed. Liquid state compared to solid state, here very large, okay, little large, particles are loosely packed. Okay, in the gaseous state what happened, compared to liquid and solid, they are very large and the particles are very closely packed. So okay, here tightly packed, here compared to solid, loosely packed, here too very loosely packed. Understood? Okay. Next one is interparticle forces. Here they are very strong, here weak, here very weak. Okay, so only it will not flow, it will flow, this also will flow. Okay, next one is nature. Naturally solids are very hard and rigid, but they are fluid in nature, they are highly fluid in nature. Understood? And compressibility, here negligible, here very small, here highly compressible. Okay, and shape and volume, here defined shape and volume, here indefinite shape but definite volume, here indefinite shape as well as volume. Okay, it is having defined shape and volume. For example, see, this is a pen, is having a definite shape and volume. Okay, here indefinite shape but definite volume, it has definite volume, but here both also infinite. The next one is density. Density means mass or volume. Here high, here less than the density in solid state, here very low density, very less density in the gaseous state. Next one is molecular motion or kinetic energy. Okay, here that kinetic means movement is very low in solid state, this little high in the liquid state, very high in the gaseous state. The movement of the flow, okay, movement of the kinetic energy or molecular motion. Here solid state is very low, here comparatively high, here very high. Diffusion, negligible, here slow, here very fast. What is meant by diffusion? It mixed with someone. For example, liquid state. So we are preparing lemon juice. So the lemon juice plus water mixing together and we are getting lemon juice. Okay, so one solution we are getting. Or salt, water plus salt. We are mixing with the water. Then what we are getting? Salt solution. Understood? And here what happens? So that is a diffusion. High concentration to lower concentration, the water molecules or the gaseous exchange will happen. Okay, here what happens? So the flavor of the food, it will mix with air and we can smell it. Yes or no? So these are the distinction among the three states of matter. Okay, they are solid state, liquid state and gaseous state. Understood? So from these all things we can conclude that, okay, what we can do, that we can conclude solids are having very small interparticle spaces. See here, this is a space. Here liquid little large, here very large. Spaces are very large. This is a space. Okay, this is a space because it is closely or tightly packed. Understood? Okay. So main thing what you know here, interparticle spaces and interparticle forces also there. Okay, so interparticular spaces are very small in the solid state. Here little large compared to solid. Here very large compared to liquid. Okay, and interparticular forces means here very strong, because of that only it closely packed. Okay, here weak. Here very weak. Understood? Don't confuse interparticle spaces and interparticle forces. Okay, because of that only river is flowing. No, river water, if you pour water here, the water will flow. Yes or no? Yes, but the solid will not flow. See, solid I kept like this. So it is having definite volume and shape. Understood? Okay, next we are going to see till now what we learned, that the three states of matter differ with respect to interparticular spaces only. Yes or no? Yes. So these are minimum in the solid state and maximum in the gaseous state of a substance. Okay. Now let us try to find out whether these states can be interchanged or not. Okay. So what is the answer? Yes. So each and every states of matter is having different kinds of interparticle spaces. Yes or no? Yes. If we keep some ice in a container, it melts after some time into water. Yes or no? Yes. See here. Here I kept some ice cubes. Okay. So here it melts after some time into water. Yes or no? Yes. So next what happen? In case the container having water is heated, water vapors are noticed. Okay, water vapors. So we can say that water in the dry solid state, ice cube and normal liquid. Next one is water vapor. Okay. Now, why does this the container why does the change it state take place? Why does the change happen here? It is because of the change in the interparticle spaces and interparticle forces. Understood? So because of interparticle spaces and interparticle forces. Okay. If a solid is to be converted into liquid, the interparticle spaces have to be increased. Similarly, if liquid is to change the gas, the spaces have to be further increased. Okay. From solid to solid, liquid, gas. Yes, no. The interparticular spaces will increase. Understood? Okay. Similarly, if a liquid is to change the gas, the spaces have to be further increase. How the solid? From here to here, here to here, the interparticular nature is getting increased. Okay. If we are saying in other words, we can say that one state of substance can be converted into the other by changing in their particle spaces. Okay, what we can say? From one state of a substance can be converted. Okay, change. Here change can be. This is a solid state converted into the other state of matter with the help of interparticle spaces. Understood? Okay. They actually change interparticle forces of attraction. What is that? Some attraction, some forces, some attraction. Okay. So here, please note that the process can be reversed also under suitable condition. Okay, see for example here water is there, the water vapor. After cool down what happen? Again the water. Again from the water, if you freeze it, what happen? It become ice cubes. Okay, so it is reversible uh, thing. Okay, it is a reversible process. Okay, so this is known as interconversion of state of matter. What is that? Interconversion of state of matter. What is that? Interconversion of state of matter. Okay, here some changes happening now with the help of interparticle spaces. Okay, from solid to liquid, liquid to water vapor to liquid to solid. Understood? Yes. So this process is known as interconversion of states of matter. Understood, children? Okay. So how to bring about the change of state? Any idea? Yeah, we have two ways to achieve this. Okay, one is by changing temperature. What is that? Temperature. Another one is by changing pressure. What is that? These two children. So we've said no attraction. Something we said no attraction. Yeah. So how we can say with the two ways we can see that we can change the matter like this with the help of temperature, with the help of pressure. Understood, children? Okay. Now let us briefly study the effect of both of these factors. One is temperature, another one is pressure. Understood? So after saying that, we can get lot of questions in our mind. Yes or no? So already we know from our observation that water can exist in three states of matter. Yes or no? What are the things? Solid, that is ice cube, and liquid as water or fluid. Okay, and gas means water vapor. Yes or no? So from this, what happened inside the matter during this change of state? What happens to the particles of matter during the change of state, or how does change of state take place? We need answer to this question, isn't it? Yes, but with the help of some factors. We heard about that factors. What are the factors? Temperature and pressure. Okay, now we can do one small activity, that is, see, one beaker, we have to take some ice cubes. Okay, we have to take some ice cube and we have to heat up. Now what happened? We have to keep the thermometer also. Okay, before it was a initial in number. After that it will rise. After increasing the temperature, after boiling the water, okay, it becomes a liquid state now. By the time this temperature, we can see the thermometer temperature. Okay, so here, on increasing the temperature of solids, the kinetic energy of the particle increases. What? On increasing the temperature. Here temperature we are heating. Yes or no? Of solid state of ice cubes. The kinetic energy, the movement of the particle increases. Due to the increase in kinetic energy, the particles start vibrating with greater speed. Understood? The energy supplied by heat overcomes the forces of attraction between the particles. So here what will happen? The interparticular spaces will increase, or here the kinetic energy of the motion will increase. Okay. So the particles leave their fixed position and start moving more freely. So at this stage, what happened? It reached when the solid melts at it converted into a liquid, the minimum temperature at which a solid melts to become a liquid at the atmospheric pressure is call its melting point. So now what is melting point? So here after heat, after giving some temperature, the ice cubes gets melt. Yes or no? Yeah, here the kinetic energy is getting kinetic energy. The movement of the particles very fast. The attraction between the particles are very fast, or the energy supplied By the heat overcomes the forces of attraction between the particles. Because of that, what happen? The solid materials will melt. That time, that point, that temperature is the no. That is called as melting point. Understood? The minimum temperature at which a solid melts to become a liquid at the atmospheric pressure is called melting point. Understood? Okay, good. So, the melting point of a solid is an indication of the strength of the force attraction between the particles. So, here the melting point of ice is what? Melting point of ice cube is 273.15 Kelvin or 273 Kelvin. We can say that. Okay, so the process of melting, that is change of solid state into liquid state, is known as fusion. First melting point. Okay, what is mean by melting point? The ice cubes are melting with the help of some temperature. Is there no some energy? Okay, or some temperature. That time the ice cubes become water. That is called as melting point. Okay, so the ice melting point of the ice is 273.15 Kelvin. Understood? Okay, so now from this process of melting, after melting, that is change of solid state into liquid state, from the solid state to liquid state, that is called as fusion. What is that? Fusion. Understood? Fusion. Understood? Okay, so now I have one doubt. When a solid melts, its temperature remains the same. So where does the heat energy go? Any idea? Okay, so here you see, you must have observed during the experiment of melting that the temperature of the system does not change after melting point is reached till all the ice melts. See, we have here some, we had here some ice cubes. See now, before it was ice, now it become a liquid state. Yes or no? So now the melting point will not change. Now the melting point is 273.15 Kelvin only. When the melting point will change, you know, all the ice cubes melt. After that only we can find out the uh, different temperature. Okay. So this happens even though we continue to heat the beaker. Okay, continuous heating only once, that is we continue to supply heat. We have to supply continuation of heat. Then this heat gets up in changing the state by overcoming the forces of attraction between the particles. As the result, what happened? The heat energy absorbed by ice without showing any rise temperature. It is considered that the hidden into the uh, hidden heat, that is called as latent heat. What is that? Latent heat. Here the ice cube is getting melt, yes or no? So by that time we cannot find out the temperature, but we are keep on heating. So now what happened? That heat is a no, that hidden heat is a no, that is called as latent heat. What is that? Latent heat. Latent heat. So this word come from came from Latin word. Okay, so latent means hidden. Okay, latent means hidden. Okay, so now here the amount of heat energy that is required to change 1 gram of solid into liquid at atmospheric pressure and it is melting point is known as the latent heat of fusion. So here 1 gram of solid we are making as a liquid with the help of heat energy. Okay, after the melting point we can say that latent heat of fusion. So what is maybe fusion? I said solid state converted into liquid state, that is called as fusion. And how? With the help of temperature. Yes or no? With the help of heat. Keep on heating. Then only that ice cubes are melting. Yes or no? So here these ice cubes are getting melt. By the time some fusions also happening. Solid state change into liquid state. That is known as latent heat of fusion. Understood, children? Okay. Now, so the particles in water at 0 degree Celsius or 273 Kelvin. Okay, initial state when the ice cubes, no, 0 degree Celsius or 273 Kelvin have more energy as compared to the particles in ice at the same temperature. So the boiling point of the water is what? 100 degree Celsius. Yes or no? 100 degree Celsius. When it will reach 100 degrees, see from 0 to 100 degree, that time only the water is getting boiled. Okay, it converted into water vapor. Understood, children? Okay. Now, see here, after this also, that energy is the heat energy to water particles start moving even faster. By the time what happen, it will reach the 100 degrees Celsius, then the water vapor, that state. Next level is what? Gaseous state. It will change. Okay, so here for water, this temperature is 373 Kelvin. Okay, so here 100 degrees Celsius or 373 Kelvin. 273 Kelvin means what? That is the initial state. 0 degrees Celsius or Kelvin. What is meant by Celsius? What is meant by Kelvin, children? Kelvin is the SI unit of temperature. Okay. So we can use for the temperature as Kelvin and Celsius scale. Understood? Okay, good. So initial state means 0 degree Celsius or 273 Kelvin. And the boiling melting point, after the boiling point, we can say that 100 degree Celsius or 373 Kelvin. Okay. So now how it come this 373 Kelvin, children, Kelvin scale. So here the 273 is the initial state and boiling point is a 100 degrees Celsius. Now what happened? 373 Kelvin. Understood? Do you have any doubt? Yes, good. Okay. Now what happened? See here that water vapor at 373 Kelvin or 100 degrees Celsius have more energy than water at the same temperature. Okay, so this is because the particles in steam have absorbed extra energy in the form of latent heat of vaporation. Vaporation means what? Water vapor. Okay, it is a gaseous state. See here, solid state, after heat liquid state, after heat gaseous state. Then from the gaseous state, after cooling, what we will get? Liquid state. From the liquid, what we will get? Solid state. So we infer that the states of matter can be changed into another state by changing the temperature. By changing the temperature, from one state of matter to another state of matter. With the help of temperature, we can get the changes of matters. Okay, from solid to liquid, liquid to gaseous state. Understood? Okay. Now, so we Kelvin is the SI unit of temperature. Yes or no? Yes. So 0 degree Celsius equal to 73.15 Kelvin. So we can, for our convenience, what we can do? We can round up. Otherwise, we have to tell 273.15 Kelvin only. We can round up this. Now, so 0 degree Celsius equal to 273 degree Celsius. 100 degree Celsius equal to 373 degree Celsius. Understood? Kelvin, sorry. 373 Kelvin. Now here to change the temperature on the Kelvin scale to the Celsius, okay, Celsius scale, you have to subtract from 273 from the given temperature. For example, 80 degree Celsius. So what we have to do? We have to subtract. Understood? Or to convert a temperature on the Celsius scale to the Kelvin scale, you have to add 273. Okay, to the given temperature. Understood? We have to add. If we want to convert the Kelvin scale to Celsius scale, okay, we have to subtract. From Celsius to Kelvin scale, we have to add, okay, to the given temperature. Understood? So now one small max we can do. Now you see, the room temperature on Celsius scale is 25 degrees Celsius. Convert it into the other two scales of measurement. That is, one is Kelvin scale, one is Fahrenheit. So we can do that Kelvin K F Fahrenheit. Okay. So the temperature or Kelvin scale is equal to what we have to do. If you want to convert 25 plus 273. So what we will get? What we will get? 298 Kelvin. Understood? If you want to do the Fahrenheit, what we have to do, we have to divide 9 by 5 into 25 plus 32. Understood? So 9 by 5, this is a common. 32 also common. Here what they give here temperature, that one, Celsius scale. So what we can do, 9 5s are 45 plus 32. How much? 77 degree Fahrenheit. That is very, very important. Okay. Understood, children? Yes. So if you want to convert the Celsius scale, what we can do? To 273 minus 25. So what we will get? 268 degree Celsius. So this is the three things. One is Fahrenheit. This is all measurements. Okay. Kelvin scale means we have to add the given temperature with 273. Celsius scale means with the from the 273 we have to minus, and one is Fahrenheit. Yes or no? The Fahrenheit means 9 by 5. That is a common thing into what given. What is the temperature plus 32 is a common. Okay, 32. If you do that, we will get a correct Fahrenheit scale. Understood, children? So these are the examples of some max to convert the Celsius scale or Fahrenheit scale or Kelvin scale. Okay, now two more example we can see. Convert the following temperature to Celsius scale. Okay, Celsius scale. So Celsius scale means what? We have to do 300 Kelvin is there and 573 Kelvin. What we have to Celsius scale means 300 minus 273. What we will get? Yes or no? Degree Celsius. And here 273. 0, 300 degree Celsius. Understood? Now I have two more examples for the Kelvin scale. Okay. If you want to convert the Kelvin scale. Okay. So what we have to do? This is minus we done, no? So here 30 degrees Celsius, 70 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now we have to do 273 plus 30, 273 plus 70. Kelvin. Understood, children? Okay, okay. I hope all understood today topic. Okay. Um, so if you have doubt, you can ask me or you can message through WhatsApp. Okay. So next class we can see about sublimation of ammonium chloride and the effect of change of pressure. Understood, children? Okay. Thank you.